everyone, and welcome back to my studio. As you could see it already from the thumbnail, today we're going to talk about Game of Thrones. And you know, I have really the worst stubborn character in the world, probably. If something or someone has become very popular, becomes really viral, I always refuse to follow. I don't watch, I don't listen to it, I don't follow it, really. I say no, it's all some mass culture, I'm not interested in it. And sometimes I realize that I was completely wrong and it for sure deserved all its hype and all its attention and all this mass love. And this is exactly what's happened to me and Game of Thrones. I refused to watch it probably... I think the 5 seasons were already online, and it was just like everybody were expecting the 6th season. Okay, I started to watch it really like, oh, no, okay, show me, I will watch a couple of episodes and then I will never get back to it. I hate all these costume dramas, I hate all this fantasy, what is this? I don't watch all these imaginary worlds things. And then I watched it completely in 1 week. Really, I didn't eat, I didn't sleep. I was just watching and watching and watching because it was extremely exciting. But of course, you know about it already. And then I was really so much impressed that I even made a Daenerys doll on my channel. But it was really long ago. It was probably 2 years ago or something like this. So today I think we should come back to this concept and make Daenerys again. And I'm really eagerly waiting, the same like hundreds of thousands of fans around the world, to know the ending of this story. And while we're waiting still the last days, the last weeks, I think it's time to make a Daenerys doll in her most recent appearance, how we're gonna see her in the season 8. And as a model for this repaint, I've decided to choose this Rochelle doll because I think she looks like Daenerys a little bit in some way. So let's prepare quickly this doll for the makeover, because I really cannot wait to start working on her. So I've removed her outfit and now I'm going to cut her hair as short as I can. Now I'm going to warm up her hat with a hair dryer to make this plastic soft to be able to remove the hat and to melt the glue inside of the hat. You see, now this rubber is very soft, so I can easily remove the hat. That's it. It was very easy this time. Then I'm taking my tweezers and I'm removing the rest of the hair from the inside of her head. And now I'm going to take my acetone and remove this doll's original face. And now let's also cut her ears off, because I don't really think Daenerys will need them. The holes from the ears are not that big this time, so I think I can just simply fill them in with hot glue. This doll will have, of course, very light blonde hair, but before I start rewriting it, I'm going to cover her head with a couple of layers of white acrylic paint. Normally I will have to apply 2-3 layers of this paint. Especially for this doll I've ordered already a while ago this super white iceberg nylon hair, and now let's reroot this doll's head. Yeah, you see, it's an absolutely pure white hair, ideal for Daenerys. And this is how her new hair looks after some hours of work. Absolutely beautiful, I think. Now let's add some tacky glue inside of her head and then let it dry for sure for 24 hours. And now let's take a look at her body. Here on her back I see 2 holes for some wings. I don't really need them today, so I'm going to fill them in with an air dry clay and then also let them dry for some hours. The next day, when the clay dries completely, I can sand this body to remove the glossy top from the surface. Then I'm cleaning the doll's body with an acetone-free nail polish remover, and after this the doll's body is ready for transformation. The glue inside of her head looks also pretty dry to me, so I think I can move to the next step of our transformation. Look, this doll has this so-called marble skin tone. It's light grey with some darker and lighter crumbles, like with some spots everywhere. Of course, it would be very difficult to start working immediately with this kind of skin tone, and it would be much easier to start from some just regular white canvas. So now I'm going to protect this doll's hair, and then I'm going to spray both the head and the body with a couple of layers of white acrylic paint using my airbrush. And now, after applying 3 layers of white acrylics, I'm going to prepare the surface to be able to draw on it. And for this I'm going to spray the doll's head and the body with 3 layers of Mr. Super Clear sealant, like always. Okay, now the head and the body look good to me. I think I can start creating her new face. Here I have prepared already a bunch of very nude and light natural colors watercolor pencils. I was going to say that I would use the same palette with pastels like I just used for my Snow White doll, because you know, Snow White and Daenerys, they have approximately the same skin tone. And I finished my Snow White doll just yesterday, but it seems I have already thrown it away. So yeah, it's not a problem, I will have to prepare a new palette with pastels. Of course, I need to have a reference picture of Daenerys for my work, and I looked it up online, searching mostly for like later editions pictures, because and the character Daenerys Targaryen and the actress have of course seriously changed through this journey from the 1st to the 8th season. She became much more mature, stronger, yeah, just a different character, different person. She grew up from a very young girl to a strong and very high respectful woman. There are already quite a lot of pictures from the 8th season online, and they're going to help me really a lot today. And I really think that this picture is going to become our main reference picture for today, because check it out, it's really very detailed, it really shows good the face, all the features of the face, you can close it up. So I have saved this picture on my phone and I'm going to start working already. And first of all, I'm going to sketch her eyes, eyelids and the eyebrows. Daenerys has these very trendy nowadays straight, very white and wild eyebrows, and I also think that her eyebrows have become a little bit darker compared to the season 1, 2 and 3 so far, yeah? Makeup trends work for Game of Thrones as well. And now let's also sketch the nostrils and the line between her lips. And now I'm going to take a brush and I will start contouring her face using the soft pastels. Now her face is completely white, so my goal is to create quite realistic Daenerys looking skin tone. Okay, now let's protect this layer with Mr. Super Clear Sealant, and then I'm going to repeat this layer again, making all the shadows a little bit darker and deeper. And I also want to add a touch of pink pastels to her face, because if you take a look at the reference picture, you will see that she has a serious pink undertone, or at least her makeup does. And now let's take my pencils and draw the shadows a little bit more detailed. You can see it on the reference picture. Here is a darker area. Also around the nose, around her mouth, so let's draw it. And also don't forget to blend your pencils with Q-tips or with blending tool, both work perfectly on those. This layer I've sealed again with Mr. Super Clear Sealant, and now let's draw the white of her eyes and the irises. She has an absolutely beautiful purple eye color in our reference picture, but if we take a look at the same picture taken from another website, probably with another filter applied on, the eye color looks completely different. But anyway, as far as I remember, all the Targaryens have rather purple, violet, lilac eye color, so let's keep following the original version of our reference picture. Now I think it's time to draw her beautiful trendy eyebrows, and I'm going to start with quite medium brown color pencil, and then I'm going to go all the time darker and darker, and like this I will be able to create really very normal, realistic, natural looking eyebrows. And let's also draw her lips. Here I start as well with a lighter color, and then later I'm going to apply more shadows and highlights to them. This layer I will protect again with Mr. Super Clear Sealant, and after this I'm going to repeat this layer again just to reach a little bit better opacity of the colors. And this is how it looks after layering the colors. Yeah, looks pretty good, I think. So now I can start making her face much more alive by adding shadows and highlights. And I'm going to start like always with the white of her eyes, because you can see here on the reference picture she has really deep gray-red shadows in the corners of her eyes. So let's draw it. Now let's add highlights to the irises and to the eyelids. And I also keep working on her eyebrows, adding all the time more and more hair. And now let's also draw her lips more detailed. If we take a look at the reference picture, we are going to see that here is a darker area between her lips, under the lips of course, in the corners of her lips, and here in the middle is vice versa a big highlighted area, and a space above the upper lip is highlighted as well. And here are of course all kinds of wrinkles on her lips, so let's recreate it all on our doll. I think I also want to add highlights to the bridge of her nose and around the eyebrows. And you can see it now that after I've sprayed my work with Mr. Super Clear Sealant, all these highlights have been gone for a big part. So I'm going to repeat the last layer again just to make all these colors, all these highlights much more contrast and visible. Okay, I needed to repeat this layer with highlights twice off camera, and now I think I can finally draw the bottom eyelashes, the eyeliner, maybe make the eyebrows still a little bit darker, you know, like the very final touches. I've protected her face with 2 layers of the sealant, and now I'm going to draw the brightest highlights using this very fine brush and a drop of white acrylic paint. Okay, her face looks pretty good to me, and now I'm going to blush her body using exactly the same pastels. Because right now, of course, the contrast is pretty obvious. Her face looks very alive and realistic, and her body is just white. So let's solve it. Now I can connect again the head and the body, and then we're going to style her hair. The Daenerys hairstyle has been seriously transformed through all these years, through all these seasons, and as far as I can see it from the sneak pictures of the season 8, she's going to have the same or similar hairstyle like in the season 7, with lots of braids and stuff like this. And many people on the internet who research the characters' outfits, hairstyles, they say that these braids in Daenerys' hairs, they symbolize the fights that she has won. So of course in the end of the series she has become a seriously strong woman with lots of braids, with lots of wins, with lots of fights. So let's recreate the same hairstyle. I'm going to start with making 2 braids on the front. And these 2 braids I'm connecting together at the back of her head. Then a little bit lower on the sides, I'm making 2 other braids. And then I'm also making 2 little bit thicker braids here on the bottom, like under her hair a little bit. So I've made in total 6 braids, 3 from each side. And now let's put everything together. So the first couple of braids is already connected here on the crown of her head. Then I'm taking a pair of middle braids and I cross them at the back, go around the hair. And I connect them at the bottom. So I make like a ponytail with this. And now I'm taking the 3rd pair of braids, and I'm first connecting them here where the 2 top braids are connected. Then these 2 braids are going down, and then I'm connecting them on the place where here the 2 middle braids were connected. And now I'm taking these 2 braids and I'm going all the way around. Now I want to make this hair and her ponytail more curly, using my curler like always. And I've left also a couple of strands of loose hair here on the front, so I can make here some locks as well. The outfits of the characters has been also seriously transformed since the first season, and if Daenerys has been started like a young girl in a very light summerish outfit, in the final season she wears a very pretty winter fur coat. To be honest, I was pretty skeptical about trying to recreate this outfit myself. I was even telling to my mom, oh, maybe we should take something from the 7th season or maybe some earlier outfit. They look a little bit easier to make because, you know, this coat looks really difficult to me. But my mom was very courageous and she has recreated this outfit. Let's take a look at her footage, and meanwhile I will tell you that it took her probably 3 or 4 tries just to find the right technique, something that would look in the end really like some coat of Daenerys from the season 8, at least from this picture that we can see now online. And in the end it seems attaching mink yarn to this felt background basic coat worked the best for her. And it's also very interesting and very important that all the outfits of Game of Thrones characters, they have some hidden symbols and hidden messages in them. It's not just some coat or some dress, it's always something that tells more about the character. And this time this coat of Daenerys, it has a big like reddish brown darker part on her back, and it speaks for one of her dragons, one of her 3 dragons that she has lost in the previous season. So my mom has recreated this part as well. This is how the finished version of this dragon coat looks, with this part on the back of it. I think it's really amazing. Here you can close it using a button. Yeah, I think it really looks like a real one. It's quite difficult to tell from all these pictures what she wears under this coat. From this picture, for example, we can see that she has something dark red here, probably a dress or a taupe or who knows what. And from another picture we can see her wearing boots, and there, I don't know, maybe some pants. But also we cannot tell it for sure. So we've decided that the main element of this outfit is anyway the coat, and her other clothes that she wears under it, we decided just to make some a little bit, you know, stylization, just to match a little bit the color scheme that we can see on the picture. Here we made just some, black pants and a top to wear under this coat. And here is my another favorite detail. Here we have this chain with 3 dragon heads. So now let's put this outfit on our doll and then take a look at the end result pictures. And here is our version of Daenerys Targaryen. I think she looks pretty much like the original film character. Of course, it's quite difficult even to talk about making a portrait doll when a doll's mold is not the same like a person's face. But I think as a doll version of Daenerys, she's just perfect. Oh, and by the way, little spoiler, the next week I'm going to work finally on a doll with an original face mold that is copying exactly face of a very famous person. I will not reveal the name yet, but let's see if I'm going to get 100% similarity there. So please don't forget to subscribe to my channel to not miss that new video. It's gonna be very challenging. I started to work on it today and I've got already some surprises, so subscribe, hit the bell button, and what is the most important, please tell me if you are also a Game of Thrones fan and who is your favorite character, who should and who probably will end up on the Iron Throne. Me personally, I just hope for some best future for Tyrion Lannister. He's my #1. And of course I also want to see some more of the love story of Dany and Jon Snow. And now let's also make an instant picture for my whiteboard, like always. So guys, I really hope you enjoyed this transformation today, and if so, please don't forget to support my art with your likes here on YouTube, subscribe to my channel, hit the bell button, and I will see you already very soon, next week Friday. Love you guys, bye!